Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. What would you do if one day the handle of your metal cup suddenly broke? The simplest solution would probably be to weld the broken handle back into place. But what if you don't have a welding machine? In today's video, I'll show you how to build a simple welding machine using old and easy to find materials. First, I will reuse these two old keys as components for the welding machine. Next, I will combine them with a bolt, nuts, and washers to create the heating handle of the welder. First, I attach the two keys to the bolt. Using metal keys helps create a sturdy structure while also serving as conductive components for the heating handle. At this point, the basic frame of the heating handle has been assembled and is ready for the next stages of the build. In the next step, I use a screw as the connecting component between the soldering tip and the heating handle. First, I cut off the hexagonal section at the end of the screw. Next, I grind down the tip of the screw to make the assembly process easy. Then, I secure the screw to the heating handle and wrap copper wire tightly around it to strengthen the connection. Let me know where you are watching this video from. Don't forget to comment the country you are currently living in down below. I'm really curious to see which parts of the world my videos are being watched from. Here, I have a terminal block. I remove one of the metal terminals inside and reuse it as the connector between the heating handle and the soldering tip. Next, I attach this metal terminal to the screw mounted on the heating handle. Then, I tighten the fastening screw to secure all the parts firmly and ensure better electrical contact. Next, I will make the wiring system for the welding machine. First, I strip the insulation from the electrical wire to expose the copper core inside. Then, I twist the copper strands into two separate branches. Next, I twist these two branches into the gaps between the two keys on the heating handle. This allows electrical current to be delivered directly to the soldering tip, generating heat during operation. Next, I will reuse a pen casing as the handle for the welding machine. I wrap electrical tape around the heating handle to improve the fit and make assembly easier. Then, I insert the heating assembly into the pen casing. To make the structure more secure, I apply super glue around the assembled area to strengthen the handle. Next, I wrap the electrical wire neatly along the handle, giving the welding machine a cleaner appearance and making it more comfortable to use. For the remaining end of the power wire, I connect it to a washer to create an electrical contact point. Next, I will make the ground wire for the welding system. One end of the wire is connected to the washer. The other end is attached to an alligator clip, making it easier to clamp onto the object being welded. Next, I will reuse an old battery to make the soldering tip. First, I use pliers to remove the outer metal casing of the battery. Then, I use needle nose pliers to grip the core inside and gently twist it to pull the core out. Next, I wipe the core clean with a piece of tissue to remove any dirt or residue from the surface. This core will serve as the material for the soldering tip of the homemade welding machine. In the next step, I attach the core to a drill to shape it. Then, I turn on the drill and bring the tip of the core into contact with a piece of sandpaper to sharpen it. Once completed, I obtain a soldering tip like this, ready for the final assembly with the heating handle. Next, I attach the soldering tip to the heating handle of the welding machine and tighten the screw to secure it firmly. At this point, all the components of the homemade welding machine are complete. I will use the battery from a cordless drill as the power source for the welding system. First, I connect the welding machine's wire to the positive terminal of the battery. The remaining terminal is connected to the ground wire. When I briefly touch the alligator clip to the soldering tip, small sparks immediately appear, indicating that the system is working properly. For the first test, I weld two electrical wires together. First, I twist the wire ends together to form a joint. Then, I attach the alligator clip to the connection point and touch the soldering tip to the joint. After finishing, I pull both ends by hand to test the strength. The result shows that the connection is very strong and does not come apart. For the next test, I weld two razor blades together. I place the two metal pieces on top of each other and apply the soldering tip to the joint area. After completing the weld, I try to bend and separate the two razor blades by hand. However, the welded joint remains intact, demonstrating that this homemade welder can create fairly strong metal connections. Now, I repair the handle of the metal cup shown at the beginning of the video. First, I cut a small piece of metal from the razor blade to use as reinforcement. Then, I place it over the broken handle area. Next, I move the soldering tip around the joint to create a new weld. After finishing, I gently tap the cup against the table to test its strength. As you can see, the handle remains firmly in place without any signs of coming loose. This shows that the weld is solid and durable. It's amazing that with a few discarded materials, we can build a simple and useful welding machine capable of handling small repairs in everyday life. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.